Some people have seen where God has brought you from. They don't really understand it. They don't know your story.
You don't know my story.
You don't know
The
my
things.
You don't know the things that I've come through.
You cannot imagine.
Cannot imagine.
Yeah, so it was a lot of that
Wow.
started to change, my prayer life with God.
Wow.
Going through that, it went from, stop just asking things and start, being thankful for the things that was given to me, because they were just so outlandish and so, fairy tale like, even in their delivery, it was like, nah, that doesn't happen. Like, yeah, it did, and so
Wow.
it was just, conversation like, just God, thank you so much for, doing all the things you've done and continue to do, and things that I don't even know about you doing, but nevertheless I'm benefiting from, and those around me are benefiting from, and it came I feel like friendship makes it so trivial. I don't know, the word does no justice for a relationship with God, but it was, I don't know if you can get where I'm going. It just became more of a,
It was a closeness. It was a
closeness.
relationship.
There we go. Yeah.
More than religion, it was a relationship.
Yeah, it was authentic, and
Yeah.
I felt it. I felt His presence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good. That's what He wants.
yeah.
That's what He wants. That's what He's always seeking. And I really believe that whatever we go through in our lives, from childhood to when we're older, I think God is orchestrating things in such a way that we all eventually, individually, get to a place with Him that we have our own personal relationship, outside of mom, outside of dad, outside of the preacher, the deacon, the church, and so we wonder why we go through some things or whatever, and some people come out of it, like I told you, 5 can go through the same thing, but at the same time He's always trying to get us back to Him, to a personal place. And it sounds like that's what has happened with you, and as powerful and faithful as Dad, in the faith as Dad is and can be, or and you have Mom and whoever else around you, God is trying to get with you,
Mm-hmm.
and so everybody else have their story, and everybody have their experiences, but God's, through our experiences and everything, He's trying to bring us to a place with Him in relationship, and then take us from relationship to purpose. So now you have a relationship with Him that you you got. So now, what's your purpose?
What is my purpose?
Or in sometimes we know our purpose in part. So what else been disclosed of you so far of where you are now in your purpose?
Right. While I was in college, I started developing interest in helping youth in general. Whether it be, I got involved in this organization called Junior Achievement, which they help. It's actually an organization that's been around, not-for-profit organization that's been around since the 50s, and they get volunteers who help K through 12 students learn business fundamentals, basic economics, things of related to higher education, scholarships, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which to this day, I'm very passionate about. And so that kind of got me introduced to, like, okay, there's something about helping kids and connecting with kids, and they listen to me. They, something about me that they just, I hold them captive, and they actually will take heed into what I say.
Maybe there's a divorce.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe just so commanding that they say, all right, we'll do it. Hey, I'm all for it. But so I developed that in college, and then moved to St. Augustine, got involved in the church. I wrote on a little pamphlet that some of my interests, your church visitors, guests, you write, who you are, where you're from, your interests, and stuff like that. And I said, I'm interested in, volunteering and stuff like that. And lo and behold, this church was in need of, a male, an African American male at that, and I was the mold that they were looking for.
Yeah, right.
And so they said, we, saw in your interest form that you were, interested in volunteering or whatever. We have this organization called the ARC Youth Ministries in St. Augustine, where they go and help They go into underprivileged communities and do Bible study with kids, all the way up from toddlers to teenagers. I started doing that, and then the pastor was saying that I have a special need for you in particular with to deal with youth detention centers, and a lot of them are minorities, and they would definitely connect. The churches that I ended up joining was predominantly white.
Right.
And that's an understatement. They were probably 99.9% white.
Why?
And why?
No, why was that your choice? Or was it your choice?
I got my job has a special, not special. I work nights or whatever, and so at that time my schedule was 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and they had a Sunday night service at 6, and it was literally right down the street. I could walk from my house to the church. I said, okay, I'll just stop by there one day, and I did. Small, intimate, and I targeted that church because it was small as well, because I knew that small churches would get me involved more. I wanted to have a foothold in the community. I said, look, I'm only going to be here. One thing I went through in college that I totally didn't mention is I have aspirations on going to grad school. That didn't go through, and it was a major blow to me in my faith again, because I thought, I was walking by faith, guy was telling me that I was going to go to grad school. I didn't know that he was saying that I'm going to go to grad school, but not then.
Right.
I to this day believe I'll be going to grad school later next year, but that wasn't the time.
Yeah.
And thank goodness it
time.
wasn't.
Right.
Exactly. A lesson that I had to learn. And so when that happened, I learned that I can't take anything for granted. Opportunities, guys can provide you opportunities that are going to be there one day and they won't be the next day. And you may never have that opportunity again. And once I made that realization, I was like, I need to seize the moment. Here I'm going to be in St. Augustine for at least a year's time. I need to get involved in this community right now. And so I targeted a small church. That was strategic. And I didn't know that they'd get me out there right then.
Right.
I probably went to a couple services, and the next thing you know, I was volunteering, which worked out. Anyway, as I was saying, they wanted to get me involved in youth detention centers that, had a lot of minorities there, and said, the word is a word, and they'll listen to the word, but granted, it coming from you, it would have that connection. You're young, you're a minority yourself, give it some thought. I did, as I was saying earlier, when I said I'm going to commit to something, that I'm living by nowadays, I'm going to follow through with it. And so I started, volunteering at this, or giving sermons on Sundays was what I do to a youth detention center, to various groups of guys who are willing to come and have Sunday school, or church rather. It's more like Bible study, pretty much. It's not really praise and worship. It's just me. I'm speaking before them.
You sing too?
What's that?
You sing too?
No, I don't. No,
Okay.
I don't have that.
Okay, so you don't get it, y'all don't do no singing.
No.
Singing, just go straight into the word.
Just straight into the word. You got
Okay.
me, thinking there. At the moment, I just go straight into the word.
That's cool.
And,
Yeah.
I've been doing that for the last several months, and it's kind of something I've developed.
How long do you have with them?
About an hour.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's time for, I try to time it so that I'm not speaking the whole time, because that's just not me, for one.
Right.
I like dialogue. I like to, connect
Right.
with people. I don't like just
Right.
sitting up there talking.
Interaction, right. One thing that you could do, I know you said you were just thinking about, is that you could find a song that's related to, relative to what you were speaking on, and play that at the beginning, just a piece of it, and then go into it. What'll happen is that every time they hear that song again, they hear your word again. So they make an association. So therefore, you may not sing it or whatever, but you might find a song. It may not even be a gospel song, whatever. But you might find a song, and then what happens is that whenever they hear it, they're gonna make that association to the word you gave.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's something you can think about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think about that.
So you have like 8 to 12. I think you said that you may minister to that intimate. There you go again with the intimacy that you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, have you heard anything from any of them to let you know that you've made an impact on their lives, that your ministry has made an impact on their lives? Have
Specifically,
you seen
I've had, repeat visitors, I guess is the way you would look at it.
Okay.
So guys that would, come again, the following week. I don't speak to one, like the way it works at this particular facility. They have two groups, that have behavioral issues, and they all are associated with a letter of the alphabet. I forget what letter, the behavioral kids have. And then there's kids who have drug addictions, and they have, they're in a group. And then there's kids who behavioral, drug addiction, and mental disability. And so I don't always speak to the same group, so they're not always going to have
You
the same
don't pick who you're going to
opportunity.
minister to.
That as well. I just
Wow.
kind of go with wherever the facilities, the staff that's there. Me and another guy tend to do it. Sometimes he's not there. I try to make sure I'm there all the time, and so they just lead me to wherever, and I'll speak to that group. So sometimes I don't even see the same group that I would last week. So they could be coming, pretty faithfully. I wouldn't know it. But it's not a really opportunity, which I'm working on.
Right.
Lord willing, I'm going through background checks right now to be able to have even a more intimate setting. Because what I want is to be able to actually talk to these kids one-on-one.
Right.
Even in a group of 8, there may be a guy who's in there who just doesn't feel comfortable with, opening up.
Right.
And so, Lord willing, I'll be able to. My plan is, even when I go to grad school, I'm going to, set up some kind of pen pal interaction with them, so they'll be able to write me while I'm not there.
Right.
And then in the near future, I'll be able to go inside their actual dormitories, and that'll help me.
Under supervision, though, right? With supervision.
I think so.
Yeah.
I forget how it works. I'm still going with the paperwork, so.
Let me tell you something, man. Bobby, that is powerful. There are people who've been in the church for years who know a lot of word, but right where you are, they've not gone there yet.
I don't know a lot of word, by the way. I mean, it's
Okay,
As,
so
you know.
look at it. So now you got these who there. I know there are many who with a lot of word, who don't go where, as it said, where you need it the most. And young people dealing with the issues that you just talked about, God's word. Okay, do you have the Bible there?
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
do
And
they
I
have
speak
a
from
Bible?
They're provided with one, but they don't do the best job to bringing it, to church for Sunday, which is a whole different,
Okay, but you share from the word.
Yes,
with
from the
them
word, yes.
And everything. So they, so that God's going to continue to open up creative, doors for you to know how to not only minister to them, but for them to keep it. Sometimes I use different things as bookmarkers and whatever, something they can take with them, and a piece of the word summary of the word, or something on there, just they can keep. Because like you said, you're not always with the same group. But I do believe who you're with, when you're with them, is what God intended for them to hear, and who you needed to talk to, at the time. So do know that while you are still wanting to get to that more intimate place or that more consistent group, just know that as God is using you as his vessel, whoever is before you at that time, they need what God put in you to share. So when you're preparing your word for them, how does that process?
Every Saturday, my Saturday mornings before I go to work, I work night shifts 2 to 10. So every Saturday morning, I always prepare a word. What was I? Yeah, every Saturday I prepare a word for that, following Sunday. That's kind of the extent of my preparation right now. Spent about a couple hours trying to establish a sermon. So
Fresh word.
Yeah,
Fresh word.
every Saturday.
That's good. That's good.
Granted, I may have something in my spirit, before then, but I dedicate that time then to actually, write it down.
Yeah, you have it sounds like you have an altar time in place that God knows he can meet you. He knows.
Yeah, I'm pretty. regimented kind of guy. Like I like schedules. I'm all about schedules. I'm all about
Sounds
you know.
like discipline.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have to. I'm trying to, you know, talk to my dad today. You know, so I need to be more moving in the, you know, the spirit, and you know, the spirit doesn't necessarily function on time, you know, and schedules. You know, so I'm working on that. But start is a start. You know, this is where I've started. So
Yeah, good. It's always good to have a schedule, whatever, but then always allow the Spirit, the Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
to lead and guide. And sometimes what happens, whether it's something we're going to speak or an agenda that we make for a day, we have this set thing we're going to say or a certain thing, time frame we're going to do something. Spirit will lead us totally different, and we fight it. We're going to stick to what I already got, you know, and then we just miss God, you know. So it's a catch-22. It's being able to discern the voice of God and hearing. And like you said, with your faith, is that once you listen one time, you say, "Oh, see, I listen to God." And outside a good result of that, and then it becomes easier to hear that voice and heed to it. You know, Bob, man, it's been awesome. Just talking to you. What are you looking forward to from now? What do you want from God? What do you want from Bobby? What do you want from God?
Bobby's my nickname.
Yeah, Robert, Bobby.
Yeah, you can
Well,
call
a
me
lot.
Bobby.
I can call you Bobby.
There's a few people can call me Bobby.
I can call you Bobby. A lot of Roberts are called Bobbies, or Billy Williams are called Billies. I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just alias or something. I don't know. Anyway,
What do you want from Robert? What do you want from God?
question of all questions, right? I want to be able to say that through God I lived to my full potential.
I don't want to stop you, but I do. In the next 3 years.
Next 3 years.
In the next 3 years, what do you want from Bobby? What do you want from God?
Next 3 years, hopefully I will have wrapped up grad school. And in that time, one of the reasons why I want to go back to grad school actually has much more to do with me achieving MBA, which is what I would be pursuing. I want to go back into in undergrad. I wasn't known for being an upright Christian, and I did I guess whatever. I mean, people knew I was of Christian faith. Those who were close to me, just because we may have a conversation about it. But just looking at me, they didn't see that. So I want to go and change that. I want to go and say that, like, look at Robert now. Like, he's a totally different person. He's living for God, and look at all the things that he's worked in his life. And I want to be like that. I want to have those same opportunities, and I guess that means I need to be in God's good graces. So let me start getting closer to God. I want to have that legacy of look at what I've done and who I am and how I got there, and you can have a part of this too. And that's probably like the biggest thing of why I want to go back to grad school. That's one of the biggest reasons why I know God's going to get me there.
Right.
Because I'm sure that he wants,
You want it to be a part of your witness.
Yeah, and there's people in certain places that just don't get the word, and so on that same vein, 3 years from now I want to be in my probably graduating and into my career. There's people, I'm pursuing aviation, airports. It's kind of what I've been studying. My work experience is all related to that.
Okay.
I think God intentionally has got me through that path, because there's people in those places, that aren't getting the word, that aren't, having that figure, who's walking in that light, and they need to
the
see
work
that.
environment.
In that work environment,
Right.
in that environment,
Sounds like you're understanding that where you are is your ministry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
and,
definitely.
a lot of times people, they look at job as a job, and they don't look at it as that, for such a time I'm here, for such a reason I'm here, Yeah.
Exactly. And so, I just want to be, the light and people look at me and they see it, and I want it to be undeniable, and I want people to want a piece of it,
Wow. I'm about to wrap up, but you went back, so I got to go back. So in college, do you feel that it was with the professors or with your peers or just your image? Because it seems as though you want to reshape or you not necessarily reshape your image or the last, but you want to give they have a last thought of you, but you want to give a better thought, but they're not there anymore. Or what happens when they're not there? So tell me, what's your mind frame?
Well, yes, you're right. A lot of them will have moved on and graduated. Hopefully, right? Some may be continuing their education like myself, which is
right.
why which probably won't be most of them. So, the people who are there will, be able to witness that, and those who weren't there, I think will have opportunities to see me, in some way, shape, or form, for whatever reason they may go back to school, or even if they don't ever go back to school, me being there and walking in that light will just be able to transform my life and all my relationships with all my friends, and they start to see that, me just walking in the act, like I said, they'll start to see that, especially those friends who are no longer at the university. And I think that's how they will benefit from that, and then the people who are, the new people there will obviously benefit, from the new me or whatever. And I think there's a lot of things that don't get me wrong, I hope I didn't paint a picture of me having like a bad reputation in college. I was actually... Oh,
just like a bad boy. That's all. I just saw bad boy.
Yeah, just to clear that up.
You weren't a bad boy?
No, I was not. I was
I'm glad you cleared that up.
I was, I was a highly regarded, actually, among most of those who knew me. Even in those circles where I probably did things that I, may not should have been doing. Even in those circles,
right? Which is
they knew that I was one of the kids. Was I popular? Yeah, I would say so. I was known for like the involved student. I was always in extracurricular activities. I was always volunteering.
So what was the problem?
I just didn't. I wasn't to my full potential just because like I was lazy. There's a lot of things. Again, I'm a smart guy. There's a lot of things that I can cover up from just he must be in the books or whatever. He must be lo and behold, I'm not doing anything. And this time I want to actually stick to what if I actually just the thought of me actually sticking to being studying and being good at my word and administering to people and to doing all the right things. I mean, it just gives me chills thinking about where I could take that college experience.
Not people just see you and think that of you, but you actually be.
Yeah, and
powerful.
Personally benefiting from those,
That's
from that thing, from that walk.
That's
one a big motivation. I just want to do it the right way. And then I'll be able to say, when I graduate, look what I did. In undergrad, I wasn't really doing that. In graduate school, I mean, I completely obliterated all expectations, which are pretty high for who I am in the first place.
Right.
So that's.
How's your grades?
They weren't that good. I got like 2.8.
Okay.
Not really good. So I was too busy doing all that kind of stuff. I was. Another reason why I want to go back and do that right, do the academics right. So.
I applaud you, man, because of where you are with your mindset. Listen, every mistake, every experience, every test, what you thought was a failure and everything, all of that stuff was to help you have this mindset. And so if we can ever understand, like baking a cake, raw egg by itself just don't taste that good. It's nasty, you know what I'm saying? And then the flour and then really individually, these things they don't taste that good. But when you put it all together, with the sugar and everything, and you give it time, time to go through the heat, and let it rise and develop, and because the foundation is already there. The pan is in, you know what I'm saying? The foundation is already there. So it's gonna form and it's gonna become something that other people can taste of. And see. So, but it takes all of those things. It takes all of those things. Don't ever understand everything that you dealt with, directly, indirectly, that you brought on yourself or that was brought on you. It's all because God is painting a picture. You know, He's painting a picture. He already knows how He, you know, like puzzle pieces. I say puzzles, you know, and all these different pieces coming. This piece of crooked up, whatever. Where does it go to? You know, and why? Why is this piece of the puzzle, you know, important? You know, what is this? You know, but then as these other pieces come together, now I see where it go. Oh, that's really the grass. Oh, okay, that's where they go at. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't see it all before. You know, and so that's what's going on with your life, and that's what is taking place so far. Beautiful thing is that you're not waiting. I love how the church got you, put you straight to the door. You know, but did not have the room. What's your interest? Had they not posed that question to you? I listened, and because that was there, you said, "Oh, my interest? Oh, volunteer." Well, somebody said, "Oh, he got a volunteer, and he black, and he's a male." You know what I'm saying? But how everything. That's how your life is working. It's like everything is, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. And so every little thing, there to one thing or another, your walks by yourself and crying and everything was God with you. You know, He loved that a long time with you. So then He was able to just embrace you and let you get in another atmosphere and just be with Him. You know, and so everything. The mind frame you've gained from childhood, 17, and tribulations, 18 and 19. I just listened to you, man, and I'm like, wow, you could have chosen so many different paths and to have been introduced to other avenues and probably dabbed in them a little bit, you know, but they didn't keep you. They didn't keep you there. They didn't keep your interest because of the foundation. I just believe that when our foundation is right, you know, everything around us may not, you know, that foundation is key, you know, and you know, I think about the guy Charleston, you know, who you know, was my frat brother who got killed, the pastor, and went to college the same time. Our schools was across the street from each other, and but I began to think about this guy, you know, he was 21, you know, and you know what his dad put in his hand for his 21st birthday?
Money.
For his 21st birthday, his dad put the gun in his hand that he killed those 9 people with. Years ago, the thing that your dad put in your hand was my little Bible. And that's my question is, what are you putting in your kid's hand? When you're not with them, when you can't do nothing else for them, whatever you put in their hands when they're out there by themselves, you know? And the dad ended up being the same one who put that in his hand for his birthday 2 months later. Looking at TV, his dad identified him as the one they're looking for. You know, so, you know, to God be the glory for where your life has gone and come thus far. I just say to you, don't regret anything. Don't feel bad on yourself about anything that has come or that you've invited or whatever. Know that God is up to something good. And you said it earlier, you know, it got to be something big if I'm dealing with this. So if He's allowed you to go through that and you were different from so many of the others, you know, not perfect, you know, none of us are, but you know that He's not finished. You are a diamond, as you said.
Yeah.
What would be something that you would say to someone to hopefully impact their life, bless their life, or reflection of what you've gone through or whatever? But I do know, man, just listening to you, and there are more phenomenal, great things that are going to come through you, and there's a glory, you know, that's over you, you know, and you make your dad proud. You make me proud, man, you know, just to know that that out of what that you are standing, but more so that you're standing for God and you're standing with God. You know, so just stay there. Stay there. Say that your eyes have not seen, your ears have not heard. You can't even imagine what God has got for you. You think you've seen what prayer can do. You think you've seen, what has happened thus far. You ain't seen nothing yet. As you stay with him, he's going to unfold great and greater unto you, because he knows he can impress. He likes to impress us. He likes to impress us. So he likes to put, he gets more praise, and then see, we go tell somebody else about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He likes that, and so and he knows you're going to reference him.
Yeah.
So what would be that thing you would share with somebody?
I think I would say that know your worth and who you are through him, and to ultimately understand that your life and everything that you do is all for his glory, and to bring more people to him, and that your role is never just me or what I want to do, and my goals, that you in your life is as Jesus was a sacrifice for us. We got to be a sacrifice and die to ourselves, and make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do, and be there for that person that we're supposed to be there for. And opportunities come and go, and don't let that opportunity pass where you were supposed to, live for God, for someone else, and you weren't there for them. Don't let that happen.
Dude, man, I'm thinking about so many guys right now, and yeah, I'm thankful to God. I'm gonna continue to watch and see. There's a song that says, what's the song, Shabbat? The song that says, "Watch, you don't believe it, watch." What is it?
If you don't believe it, just watch it.
Yeah, I don't know the whole song.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
I know. Okay.
Yeah.
I know that hook. So you don't believe it, just watch. So those who don't believe or who didn't or saw something different, they're gonna watch and they're gonna see that you are light to the world and you're salt to the earth. 15-second, 20-second prayer. I want you to close out with a prayer.
Okay.
Okay, come on, man.
Dear Lord, thank you for having this opportunity to have me here with my dad and my uncle and brother in Christ, to be able to share my story and the ways that you worked in my life. And I pray that whoever witnesses this footage is able to see how you've worked in the mysterious ways that you do what you do, and do things that only you can do. And that I pray that whoever sees and hears these words are able to move in the direction that you're trying to get them to move into. And I pray that this day forward embarks on the growth in your word, and may everyone here see your light, Lord. And I pray that Shabbat is able to demonstrate for others the way that they're supposed to live, and I pray that you keep him, Lord, and that he keeps you, and that Shabbat will show others that he can do good by himself, but the things that he can do with you is on a whole different level. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Gosh. Oh, dude, Jesus. Two things I thank God for. One is your mama watch TBN, and your daddy put a Bible in you and was consistent with his faith.
Yeah.